Beckman is a 2020 neo-noir action crime thriller from director Gabriel Sabloff. It tells the story of Aaron Beckman, played by David A.R. White, a former contract killer who sometime back stumbled into a church following a hit gone bad and seeking sanctuary. The church's ailing reverend, played by Jeff Fahey, takes him in, nurses him back to health, and over time manages to bring him out of the murder for hire life and convert him to Christianity. Fast forward to today. Beckman has become a reverend and has adopted a young girl named Tabitha, played by Brighton Sharbino, who had come to the church for help after escaping from some nasty people. Her past catches up to her when the slimy leader of a local cult, played by William Baldwin, breaks into the church and snatches her away. Left with no other choice, Beckman returns to his old ways and carves a bloody path of vengeance throughout Los Angeles. So Beckman is a faith-based hybrid of John Wick and Taken with some traces of Man on Fire and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's the kind of movie that I personally wish more faith-based movies were like. A lot of faith-based movies tend to be so laser-focused on spreading the word of God that they forget they're supposed to be movies, ultimately devolving into 2-hour sermons that only work for the Sunday morning church crowd. Beckman is an action movie first, and puts emphasis on being a dark, mature-themed action movie with some glimmer of hope and redemption. The story, at its core, carries that overarching theme of redemption for Beckman's character, even though he's returned to his old ways and is killing people. There's a decent amount of world building with the underground organization Beckman used to work for called the Network, standing in for the Continental and the High Table from the John Wick series, and the numerous sleazy things they're involved with, and the rather interesting killers who work for them. The action for the most part is pretty solid. There's some decent fight choreography, there's lots of wide framing, and an emphasis on handheld cinematography without once devolving into motion sickness-inducing shaky cam. And while the editing for the action is a lot faster than can be found in the John Wick series, each shot still plays out long enough to give you time to see who's doing what as far as the scene is concerned. Now, it does have its fair share of hiccups. There are times where you can tell the actors are pulling their punches, and the camera is angled specifically so that the actors have to milk the illusion of a fist connecting with a jaw. There's also some sketchy CGI for the muzzle flashes, bullet hits, and blood spatters, and it's painfully obvious the guns are airsoft guns. Depending on how nitpicky you are, these can be mild flaws, or they can destroy your suspension of disbelief. For me, they were but a mild blemish on a movie that is still enjoyable despite its flaws. I thought the acting for the most part was solid, though David A.R. White doesn't quite have Liam Neeson's battery-acid vocals or Keanu Reeves' rugged good looks. He still bears enough charisma and nuance to sell the tortured, wayward soul of Aaron Beckman. I honestly hope there's a sequel because I want to see more of this character. William Baldwin is perfectly scummy as Reese, the cult leader who serves as the movie's antagonist. He doesn't even have to do much, but he cranks the bad guy factor up to 11 by making Reese as creepy as he possibly can, not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson levels of creepy. I thought Brighton Sharbino was good as the tortured soul Beckman adopts, struggling to find her way back to a normal life, and struggling with some very clear PTSD before Reese and his thugs show up to take her away. Jeff Fahey has a minor role as the dying reverend who takes Beckman in. He was pretty solid. Burr Young is also in this as Salvatore, a fiery old fart who owes Beckman a favor. He actually was pretty funny for the 5 minutes of screen time he had. Don't let the obviously small budget, the fact that it borrows so heavily from John Wick and other movies, or the fact that it's faith-based turn you away. Beckman is still an entertaining sit, and I'm going to give Beckman a must-buy.